We are back, episode 5 of the Headquarters podcast.
This is episode 6, isn't it?
No, it's episode 5.
Oh, true.
Episode 5. We just dropped episode 4.
Yeah, yesterday's didn't count.
Episode 5. We've got Hermit, a very good friend of mine, best friend of mine, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Coming on to talk about his music, his soon to be released EP, Commit No Nuisance. Cheers for being on here, bruv.
Thank you for having me. Well, cheers that.
Cheers.
I've already started.
We're both very sick. I don't know what's going around, but this is the second time I've been sick. I was sick when we did the Wu-Tang podcast, and that was a month ago or something.
Yeah, and
now I'm sick again.
I was a bit ill that day, but that was like my fault.
That was just like self-proclaimed sickness.
Yeah, that was just the roughness of a weekend.
Bit of elixir, brother. What's new? What's happening? It feels weird kind of having this formal conversation with you.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But what's new? Shit. EP's about to drop, man. It's finally done.
All finances are now covered, eh?
Yeah, we
from
literally
2 minutes ago.
From 2 minutes ago, we just paid everything off. From the time you guys will be watching this, the EP is dropping this week. For us, it's 9 days away, 8 days. 9, yeah, whatever. It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's all been happening. So it's pretty much just been like working towards getting that ready, because it's a lot of work. And then when you're like, even when you plan out what you think you've got to do, there's like 20 other things that pop up, and you're like, oh shit, didn't think of that, or oh, that's a good idea.
What's been the hardest thing?
Or
the most like frustrating time consuming?
Patience.
Yeah,
patience has been the hardest thing, because like, as far as the music being done, the music's been done since like March or April, like mastered properly, everything. But it's like getting the money up to pay off for the records, because it's fully independent doing this myself. Like, thankfully, I've had a couple of people that have helped lend me a little bit of money to finish it off till then. But it's just patience and not like wanting to drop everything and not overshare your songs with everyone, because you like hang out with people and you're like, do you want to hear my EP?
Yeah, you don't want to do that, eh? I'm not the biggest fan on doing that. Even like with the boys, I'm like, remember that one clip I had, and I was just like, really, I didn't want to show it, because it ruins that. Because when you drop something, it's really good to get that authentic feedback then and there, because you've worked so hard to produce something. And on the drop day, I guess you have somewhat of an expectation to receive feedback and praise for your hard work. But if you've showed your whole homies, it's like, shit.
They're not as excited anymore. They're sort of just like telling other people to listen to it or watch the video or whatever. See, I think patience has been the hardest thing, and like following through. Because that's been like the testament of the EP for me, like following through and pushing myself to the absolute limit. I thought we were just going to do a digital EP when we started.
Yeah, true. Vinyl, eh?
Yeah.
We've obviously had heaps of yarns about it, like with how hyped you are, that this is the first time that you've ever produced something on vinyl, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Like you've been on vinyl before.
Yeah, I'm on the Apple Lifestyle album.
Is that the only
produced.
Only one?
Yeah,
it's the same as me.
Well, there's not many people in Tassie that have done records for hip hop. Like you can count it on both hands, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Like there's heaps of physicals of like CDs out there and shit, but there's not been many people that have put out a record.
You'd be fucking hyped then, eh?
Yeah, bro. Like,
and records, that's been the longest process from being mates with you. That's been the thing. Only just now is that finalised, and what's the date today? Is it the 24th? I think it's
today's the 24th.
As we're filming this. So we're a couple weeks out. I think 2 weeks out, are we?
Yeah.
2 weeks out from the launch, and they're only just getting sorted now, and then they'll get shipped down. Oh, I remember Lockie had a problem with his
Oh, that'll be sweet. Like, they're done.
Yeah.
They're complete. They've been done for 2 weeks. It's just been me getting the money together, and life's been pretty hectic with finances, and I haven't been working my job too much over the past month, so it's just been like, I've been living off music money for the past month, really.
Music money, baby.
Which is sick, but then I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
And like, I had a couple cheeky nights out where I spent more than I should have or whatever, so it's just, that's my fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting the vinyl ready to go, because we could have put this out at the start of the year if we were just doing digital.
Oh, easily.
But we wanted to do everything properly.
Less the patience. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's what I was meaning with like following through as well, because I you know, and that was sort of like a testament to what I want to do from now on. But I wanted to just make an EP. I just wanted to make a project. I wanted to make a body of work that I was really happy with, that I wrote as to the best of my capabilities, and I rapped to the best of my capabilities at the time. And then we would have another idea, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a cool idea, but we'll just do this. And working with Lockie was like, no, we're fucking doing it. Like, why would we not do it? Because it seems a little difficult. It's pretty easy in the grand scheme.
Has this been in the work since you dropped Return of the Jedi?
Pretty much, yeah. So we made...
Lockie produced that, yeah?
Yeah, Lockie produced that. So Return of the Jedi...
Was that the first track made on the EP?
Yeah. So Return of the Jedi came about from... Lockie was making a beat, and he like put a snippet on Instagram on his story, and I hit him up and was like, bro, this is fucking flames. Can I have this? What year was this? This is last year. So this is like June last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, June last year. So it's like over a year ago. And then he was like, bro, you want to know a funny story? I actually put this on Instagram hoping you'd reply to it and want the beat. And I was like, done. So then a week later we made Return of the Jedi, and we put that out, and I talked to Lockie about doing an EP maybe. And then he gave me another beat, which is the second track on the track list, called Lazy Days. We recorded that.
That's my favourite one, isn't it? Is that my favourite one?
I think so. It's like with the guitars on it, and it's got like the scratches where it's like, fuck off and don't talk to me.
Oh, I don't know. There's one of them on there, and I was like, yes, this is... I think it's the same one that Greeley liked.
He really did like that one. So
okay, I think it's that one, because I remember you saying that.
Yeah, Grills snapped his neck to that one. He really liked it. But yeah, so we made that, and Lockie was like, yo, Apple Hour Style's like a few weeks off being done. Once that's done, do you want to make an EP? I was like, yes. So it's been in the works probably since like August or September last year.
And when you dropped Return of the Jedi, you also did the name change, hey?
Yeah.
Somewhat. Like you added Kovacic.
Yeah.
Kovacic.
Yeah.
Your last name into your artist name.
Yeah.
Why? What was that? What was the name change? I remember.
So I was Hermit for a while. Like I've been putting out
upgrade now.
yeah. I fully upgraded, I think, as a person and an artist. But I was under Hermit for a long time. Like when I was like 18, dreadlock, hippie looking kid.
Yeah.
And that was sort of just like my nickname for a long time, because I didn't really want to hang out with people. I'd just stay home and make tunes in my house.
Yeah.
Like take a bunch of psychedelics and just be weird.
I was not mates with you then, eh?
Nah, bro, this is 8 years ago. Yeah, I was like 8. This was like 17, 18 when I first started getting called Hermit. And this is when like everyone was still just doing little bodgy bedroom setups. But I didn't know anyone in the hip hop scene back then. But that was just how I established myself. And I was doing music pretty regularly for like a long time under Hermit, releasing like little demos, mixtapes. One time I thought I dropped an album, but it was really just a really poorly recorded project.
What's it called?
It's called Permatrip.
Permatrip?
Yeah,
Permatrip.
Yeah, and I was just making real abstract psychedelic stuff. You can find it somewhere. It's online still, I think.
Is it?
I think it's on Bandcamp.
Yeah, right.
Don't look it up.
I'm going to dive into this and send it to the boys.
There's still like music videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
from
okay.
it. Yeah.
I've gone through your old YouTube music videos, like long hair, really like malnourished.
Yeah. I looked sick. I looked sick. Like I was like, I'm still skinny, but I was like super skinny. I was going very much in and out of substance abuse.
So do you think that the physical appearance of yourself, which obviously it really impacts who you are as a person, was a big thing to that name change as well?
Definitely,
you shaved
bro.
your hair off, eh?
Yeah, so I wanted to change my name after I dropped the Permatrip project, because I was like, this isn't good enough. As soon as I put it out, I was like, this is terrible. Because I went through like homelessness, breakups and all that through making that album. So I just didn't care. And then I said to Grace and the boys and all that, I was like, yo, I want to just take a break from releasing music. I'm going to make music till the fucking cows come home.
When was this? What year are we talking?
2021?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 2021. And I took like a year and a half off to 2 years, but I was playing shows like consistently, like so much. So I'd just sample all the new stuff that I was writing and start figuring out what people would respond to.
And with your shows, you do tracks, lyrics on different beats, eh?
Yeah.
I remember there's that one hectic one that I like. You know the one I'm talking about?
Oh, there's like the Hermit
Yeah,
Shadow.
yeah.
That's actually out.
Yeah.
That's released.
Is it?
Yeah, I dropped that in like 2021.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's recorded terribly, but I could
So you're
perform
doing
it
heaps
really
of shows. You kind of taking a hiatus off releasing
Yeah,
music.
yeah. And then it was really hard trying to figure out a name change because also I understood that like while I'm not big or anything, I had like a local reputation under Hermit, and that might affect like people coming into the music because like a lot of people are still following me from back then that are like really core Hermit fans.
Yeah.
I was like sort of tossing up with the idea of adding my last name, but because it's a weird last name, especially in like Western Australia, like, you know, Western culture in Australia and shit, it just might be a bit weird, but I thought, fuck it. And then my grandpa died. And that's where my last name comes from. He came here illegally as an immigrant from Slavic war, like in the Yugoslavic period of Europe when he was a lot younger, like real young. And he like looked after me most of my childhood and all that. Like he's my...
So he came here to Tassie.
Yeah. He came to Tassie and would work like 18 hours a day in a apple shed in Cygnet in exchange for English lessons.
Yeah, that's hectic, bro.
Yeah.
What year was this?
This is like the 60s or 50s.
That's mad.
And then, yeah, probably the 60s. And then he met my grandma. They had my dad, like my real dad, and my uncle and all that. And then that's how I exist from that.
Why do I not know that about you,
I feel like
bro?
I've told you that before.
But I don't know. That is crazy.
That's how my grandpa got here. So he's been like a very big emblem in my life of never giving up. Because like, bro, for him to when he fled, he got shot at.
Yeah. He would have fled on a boat as well, it would have been.
So he ran over the mountains at first.
Yeah.
Over the European mountains, and he was getting shot at with his best mate, and his best mate got shot in the head right in front of him, and he had to keep running because he was getting shot at as well.
That's crazy,
so that's like
bro.
you and I
Where's
bailing.
this, Slovenia? You
Yeah,
said?
this is Slovenia.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know the full details of the war and
Yeah.
stuff of what was exactly going on, and
Be
we
cool
were
to look
told not
into,
to.
eh?
I'm trying to learn now, but like his exact scenario, we were always told not to ask about
of
because
course.
there's a lot of trauma there, which is understandable. But when he passed, that just like shook me to the absolute core. Because that was like my role model was a
You
man.
were close with him as well.
Yeah, bro. I spent most of my childhood with my grandpa. Like, you know, he taught me how to fish. He was teaching me all these. I think he taught me how to ride a bike, how to kick a ball,
Yeah,
everything,
crazy.
bro.
There's real
Like
monumental moments of childhood.
yeah, bro. Like with, you know, just let me climb trees, let me just be myself. And when he died, that's why the hair went as well. He always hated my hair, like so I had hair, like as you know, down to like my belly. And I was like, "This is your last gift. I know you hated it, so I'm shedding skin. Like I want to grow with this." So I shaved my head, and that's when I decided I'm adding his last name because I want him to live forever. Yeah, and he will anyway through the amazing memories that he's created for all his grandchildren and his children. But I wanted to like eternalize it more, and like I get to tell this story when people ask like, "What's the go with your name?" Because like it's a rap name as well, like Hermit Kovacic.
I guess then you're kind of like also anchoring the legacy, the family legacy.
Yeah,
because they say there's things that I'm massive on legacy and leaving a legacy, and I hope that my, you know, children's children know who I am.
Yeah,
I know what I've
100%.
done, and I think through it's the truth though, because you think of like your grandfather's father's father. Do I even know who they are? I don't personally, but a lot of people don't. Some might. But I think what you're doing is honourable, and like to hold that name, and who knows, it might actually become an heirloom throughout the family that you create.
Yeah, definitely,
you know what I mean?
Man. Like
to really represent that last name and use it within their artistry.
Until my last breath, I'll keep his legacy alive, and I hope that continues it through my grandchildren and all that. As you said, like the EP is actually dedicated to him. It says on the back cover. So we got the track list on the back of the EP. And then it says dedicated to Robert Rudy Kovacic.
Right.
And then it has like a write-up for all the boys and everyone after that. But it's dedicated to him.
Fuck yeah. Cheers to Robert.
Cheers to Robert, yeah.
Fucking hell, that's some deadly shit, bro. I really like that. That's cool. There's depths to it. There's layers to it that you probably told me about. I've probably been so caught up in my own head that I haven't had enough time to sit there.
It is what it is, bro. That's why we get to have this yarn now, you know what I mean?
But speaking of the cover art, I want to then segment onto that.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when you sent me that. We'll get it up right there, and there's the back bit as well. when you sent me that, I was blown out, bro. It was so sick. It's so you. It's so a Hermit. It is the Tassie. It is Steez. It's professional.
Yeah.
Like, it looks so sick. Do you want to like go into a bit more on what that means to you?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, for sure.
We're not really representing it here, are we?
Oh, I just took the 6-pack from the fridge.
I tried. You know that I'm not going to drink them anyway, so.
Yeah, like I just grabbed a 6-pack from the fridge. But yeah, it's a redo of the Cascade Lager logo. That's been like, I don't like to say that beer's been an important part of my life, but like it's a big staple for like my early memories of Tas Hip-Hop as well. Like it's what we'd always drink at the gigs.
At the Breeze as well,
Yeah, at the Brisbane Hotel. Then we go like party afterwards, and Mobius would sell them for $5, and just what me and my friends would always drink when I was getting into hip hop. And I still do that to this. Pardon me. Still do that to this day. I'm always on the blues when we're out.
Always on the blues.
Yeah, always on the blues. And I made Return of the Jedi, and I was like just trying to come up with something catchy that's like hell Tassie-ish. And I was like, you know, anyone that's heard the tracks, I've been hitting Tassie too, sipping Cassie Blues. And that really boxed me in. Because heaps of cunts after that were like, yeah, Cassie Blues. Anytime they know me, or like one of my friends say me. Yeah, it's become like sort of part of the Hermit Kovacic image of, yeah, he's the Cassie Blue guy.
They make Cascade here in Hobart, eh?
Not anymore.
Oh, they don't?
No, it's like made by the same company that own Asahi, to my knowledge.
Ah, sure shit.
Yeah, they bought out Cascade, to my knowledge.
Didn't even know that. I thought they were still making it up at the thing.
I think they still brew it, but it's like
it's just for
owned by them sort of thing, export, import.
The what would you say? The tourism aspect for it.
Yeah,
they come up there, they get like a fresh brewed.
Yeah, you do the brewery tour and all that. But so when we were coming up with ideas, I pitched the idea to Grace, who did the staple cover for me. Like she came up with she designed the first bit. I was like, do you reckon we could redo the Cassie Blue thing? Like, how possible is that? And she was like, easy. So Grace whipped up the design of the front cover. I was in love. I frothed it. And then we sent it off to Discourse to get the cover art fitted for vinyl, because you have to have different specs for it to fit the cover of wax.
It has to be right to the decimal.
Yeah, it has to be perfect. Yeah. And he asked, could he work on it? And like, could he add some bits?
Have you got a photo before and after?
Yeah. We'll pop it in here if you want. Yeah,
that's just cool.
So I think Grace did an amazing job, but then Discourse just like got really into it, added the spice, and he really added the cardboard aspect to it. And then he did the back cover. He like tried to find Cascade Lager in Melbourne, which is near impossible.
They don't have it there at all.
Ah, bruh.
Yeah, true. I guess it's just a Tassie
Yeah, that's
thing.
what I mean. Like, this is a Tassie thing.
Yeah.
So, but he like really studied how the carton looks from the back. So the back is the back of the carton. It says like 8 standard drinks for the 8 tracks. You can see like it's like 3D. You can see the cans in there. And the sticker on the inside of the record is the top and bottom of a can.
Yeah, that is sick.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm super proud of that. And I recently found out, adding on to what we were just talking about with my granddad, I got a message from a family member, and they were like, interesting new songs that you've been putting out. You know, your granddad like lived off those. Like that was like his thing back in the day.
You've had the taste since a child, mate.
Yeah, he's like he religiously drunk lagers, and then I found photos of my uncles and all that smashing Cassie Blues.
Yeah, the uncle beers, mate. We've had this conversation many of times.
Yeah, but like it was just because I'm like apart from my granddad, my grandma, like I was a bit disconnected from those uncles and stuff growing up. I still know them, and like, I got a lot of love from them. They love me, but it was just cool learning those little things and having that, because I've dedicated the whole thing to my granddad as well. It was like, oh, he was a Cassie Blue man. This is in my. I actually messaged Lockie a screenshot of the message. I'm like, it's in my blood.
It's in my blood.
This was always meant to happen. But yeah, so the cover art is cool. I'm really proud of it.
It is. It's dope. Like the work, that all the promotion, because we're even doing. Are we doing the stubby holders? Can we do the stubby holders?
Yeah. So that's we'll next week.
Bang, bang, bang. I'll let Hermit explain what it is.
So for the poster, we've done all the artists. So we've got a launch happening for people watching it this week, Saturday. We've got a launch happening at the Twisted Lime, and I really wanted to stretch out the Cassie Blue thing. The promoter that I'm working with wanted to stretch that out as well. I'm like, cool, sick. Grace did all the designs again. She's like just the goat of graphic design in Hobart for me. She's the 100%. Best.
She's done all mine as well.
And yeah, she got all of our faces on a can. Like we're all piss tins. And it's like instead of Cascade Lager, it's Kears or Hermit Kovacic or Lucky Hamel. Yeah, it's really fucking exciting, and hopefully we will be able to get those turned into stubby holders cause this is like a week and a half before the gig.
We'll sort it. It'll be sick. That'll be fucking dope. Like I want one of them to have as memorabilia.
Yeah, even if it's just for the artists. Yeah. And we're all just drinking out of our own personalized stubby holders. I think that'd be hilarious for everyone else that comes as well. Like, we're all just sitting there and like, oh, you got a stubby holder in the pub? I'm like, that's me.
Yeah, usually the Donnies that rock up with stubby holders in pubs are quite like weird Donnies. Like,
like, Commit No Nuisance. This is all about being weird. Like, let's get weird with it.
We make the rules at our own gigs, mate. So you've spoken on what's like influenced the artwork, the background, and I guess the love for the Cassie Blues and how it's quite a Tasmanian icon. I want to talk on like what's influenced the EP from all aspects, from your background culturally, personally, to your music influences, which we've spoken a lot about, and you've also shared a lot of insight with me. But yeah, just to get more of a insight on what has inspired the project.
So the inspiration would definitely come from different aspects of sort of things. Like musically, as anyone that sort of met me or heard a couple of the singles that have come out, I'm a bit of a snob on how hip-hop should be. I love the old shit. Like I really just love old hip-hop. Like 80s and 90s New York is the pinnacle of hip-hop to me, and I think it should be for anyone that says they're a hip-hop head. It's all subjective though, like you don't have to like it, but I've just been obsessed with that since I was a little kid. Like obsessed with just the feeling that comes with it, the style as well, like the image of it, like the way they dress, the way they talk, the slang they use, the beats they had, like chopping up old jazz and funk records and all that. Like it just, I'm so in love with it, and it makes me so happy. And like I can chuck on those records still and just feel like I can just go into a little place in my head of being in those songs and like what it would look like and what they were doing when they were making that stuff. So I'd watched a lot of documentaries on those eras and all that. Graffiti as well from that era, and further on as well is a massive influence to me, and just like wanted to make my contribution to hip hop culture, because hip hop is not a genre of music, it's a culture. Rap.
I like that.
Yeah. Rap really is a style of music.
Yeah.
But hip hop is a culture of mainly 4 elements of breakdancing, DJing, graffiti, and rapping. I feel like in our world as well, like I think skating is like a hidden element as well, because they just seem to like be in that world as well, skateboard culture. But like falling in love with all aspects. Like my first element when I was a kid was dancing.
For real?
Yeah, I was really trying to learn how to pop and lock and like spin on my head and shit. I was pretty bad, but like I was obsessed with learning how to do that. And then, graph came along and rapping and all that, and didn't even really properly get into graph till I was already rapping and stuff. But like all those things really influenced me with just, I get real hectic synesthesia, I think is the word, where it's like certain senses trigger other senses of like giving you an image in your head and all that. And the whole culture of that hip hop takes me to a place, and I just wanted to do that. And then I'm a big movie head as well. I love like old Chinese kung fu flicks. I love my sci-fi, like classic sci-fi flicks and all that. And I think just all those stories and just all that shit, just trying to put that into one thing, but be me. At the end of the day, it's really me just trying to be me. Because I felt for a lot of the time when I was just Hermit, not Hermit Kovacic, I wasn't fully being myself. I was only allowing myself to show one side and being really abstract with it. And I just didn't feel authentic. Like I just felt super unfulfilled with anything I'd make. So I wanted to encapsulate me.
Yeah.
So yeah, just tell my story. I think just experiences that have happened over the past couple of years, really trying to put my opinion in, like do what you don't do. That's me
it's
talking
pretty
some
staunch,
shit.
so I've obviously listened to it. It's very... I feel like now I'm just going to critique your album.
No, do it.
EP.
In
a good way.
No, do it.
Because I feel it's very the steez that you're talking about, that steez. the confident sort of talking about how it should be and very in your face and very like that hip hop, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
hip hop.
100%.
It's not as much as now what I know you're diving into right now in the artistry realm of more vulnerability and those aspects. It's definitely more of, you know, that boom bap hip hop steez shit rather than a more vulnerable side, say for the music that I make.
Yeah,
I would say
it's like me laying down the first piece of the new puzzle. Like I've started a new puzzle.
You could say.
Yeah, 100%. Like it was like I just want to put out the core bits of me first, like put down my foundations, and from here I'm gonna grow. Like as you said just before, the music that I'm writing now, the EP is done, is a lot more emotionally driven and
100%.
being very therapeutic for me. But the EP is just the story of the core bits of Hermit Kovacic. Like, you know, the intro track is that Hobart track where it's, you know, I'm just talking about where, just talking about where I come from. And then Lazy Days is like a bit of a, I'm talking my shit, but it's because I'm not wasting any time anymore. And we've got a couple tracks where I'm like diving into a bit of how I feel about how the world works. Yeah. Sort of thing. One's called Root of Evil that got banned in the prison gigs that we were doing recently.
Share that, bro. So so what happened was we Dallas Ruboy, he works as a liaison officer for the Tasmanian Aboriginal Legal Service in Tasmania, and they do obviously a lot of work at the Risen Prison. So through NAIDOC Week, Dallas, all the towels got some funding, and they got a bunch of artists in to perform live in the prison. So Hermit and I went in there and performed. I went in one day on the Thursday. Hermit went in 2 days.
Friday got cancelled.
We're going to do another podcast on that because it's pretty crazy shit. Like it was one of the most. Afterwards, I was actually quite emotional after that.
Me too,
I was
bro.
really like, I called my mum up straight away and shit. But I really want to do another podcast on that topic because it's really important. But
Root of Evil got banned.
Yeah, how, bro? How?
So the first day I went in on the Monday, we went into medium security of Risdon Prison, and they'd already put the inmates on lockdown.
Yeah, so why were they in lockdown? Like, what was going on before
I think there was lack of staff to be able to coordinate the day because, as you saw on the Thursday that you came in, we were just immersed with the prisoners.
Yeah, so we were right in there. Bro.
I felt safe. I was not worried if we were. Like
at the start, I was like...
Yeah, I could see it on your face.
I was very I didn't expect it. I didn't think that it'd just be literally because we were in minimum.
Yeah, you can just go and shake the hand.
It was just like walked right in, and I didn't expect it. I thought there'd be a lot more.
So medium, they wanted a bit more security for it, and they just didn't provide it.
Yeah.
So everyone was locked down. So it was a bit of a crabby morning anyway. You know what I mean? The boys have been told they get to have a gig in prison. Yeah. They're very amped up, and then they get locked down. We were initially told we weren't allowed to perform at all. And we said, no, we'll Ruboy organised this part of it. I can't say we here. But Ruboy talked them into letting us play in the middle of the area, like on the basketball court. So there's like all the unit blocks.
Yeah.
And we played on the basketball court. And I wanted to play a bunch of EP stuff for the boys because they're not going to get to hear it. And it was going to be fun to play the tracks all the time, like for the first time properly live. And I did this track called Root of Evil, which I'm happy to talk about here, is basically breaking down that money is the root of evil. And this is why we're falling into this housing crisis. You know, the supermarkets are rorting us. You know, they're digging up our land to build roads and shit like that. It's all a money game. All this corruption is a money game. And I really wanted to talk about that in a song. And I played it at the prison. And the hook for the track normally is just cuts. Like it's just a cut section from DJ Then Some. But he wasn't there. I was working with Callum Ball that day. So I just freestyled a hook. And it was like, fuck the system. Yeah, fuck the money. Fuck the system. They got us robbing because we're hungry. And the boys were loving it. Yeah. But they're all like bashing on the... Not violently, but just like smacking on the window, held J'd up. Like, yeah, fuck the system. Fuck. Like they were just chanting and chanting and chanting. And after the gig... Like, they were just chanting for the next hour while we were at the prison. Fuck the system. Fuck yeah, Hermit. Fuck the system. And then I received a message about it. There were a bunch of emails going around the staff of the prison, and then I had to meet the superintendent the next day that I went in to do a gig. And he was like, so we've heard there's a rapper that's chanting "fuck the system," and he was trying to act all cool, even though I knew he was offended. He was like, "No, I'm fine with it, but we don't want to incite a riot. Like, I'm fine, like freedom of speech." And
is that what he was saying?
Yeah, and then he was like, and I was just like, it was me. I raised my hand. I was like, it's me. So also, like, it was just me, Dallas, and Callum. I didn't want Dallas to get in trouble either. But like, yeah, because apparently it was a bit of a big deal when it first happened. And like, shouts to Amanda from Towers as well, because she really stood up for me and like made sure that I wasn't removed from doing this program with the prisoners. But yeah, they were like, you can't play this song. Like, you're banned from playing it. I did know, however, that they don't know lyrics.
You did it again, eh?
Yeah. I changed the hook. I just said, we just chanted "fuck the money" instead of "fuck the system," because I knew that it was the "fuck the system" bit, and that's fine. If they want to ban me from playing that bit, that's fine. Like, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. So I just changed it. But yeah, that's a really cool little promo thing when the EP's out, that I'm going to be able to run up that this track is actually banned in Risdon Prison.
Yeah, the first rapper to start a riot through rapping in a prison.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even a riot. They were just scared.
Oh,
like,
well,
the
potentially.
potentially.
Was that potentially?
When I went to play it the second time, Uncle Dougie was sort of like laughing at me while I'm playing. He goes, "Don't start a riot, boy. Don't start a riot." Yeah. But yeah, that was really cool to have that experience. Like, the first time I've been able to play unreleased tracks after the EP was in a prison, so that was sick.
Yeah, I think we both kind of share that experience with a few unreleased tracks, which is...
Yeah, it was really cool, man.
I want to, dive in, way deeper with that on another podcast, because even Dallas was up here today and he was like, "Oh, are you still keen to?" And I was like, "Can we?" Yeah. He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Eats."
That's a whole podcast of its own.
So going over the tracks, you've obviously got that. What track is that one? What's it called?
Root of Evil.
Root of Evil.
Yeah, so that's called Root of Evil.
So Root of Evil, and there's 8 tracks, yes?
Yeah. So there's some fun track. Like, it's all about having fun. Mm-hmm. Like, the idea is I want to have fun. So, we've got one that's about, like, I've got chronic insomnia, something that I've dealt with for years and years and years, but I made like a fun track out of it. Like, it's like this really funk-based track, and Gus Layton, Gus Layton, he did sax on 3 of the tracks on the EP, and he just laid down the freshest sax riff on this song, bro, called The Night Owl. And it's funky as hell. I'm so keen to play it at the launch. Yeah. Because I've been holding on to that one.
Is he going to come and do it live?
No. We've got it on the beats.
Yeah.
Because thing is, he also freestyled that.
Right.
He freestyled all the riffs.
Know.
I mean, I'm sure he could figure it out pretty easy. He's a genius. But so there's like a Night Owl track. There's like probably one of my favorites is called Paranoid.
Right.
The guy who mastered it, Joe Cara, absolute don and legend of the game of mastering.
He's got whatever the awards are that you get for music.
Yeah, he's got like ARIA nominations and stuff. Bro, he's like, outside of hip hop, done some really hectic big music. But as far as in hip hop goes, like, this dude's resume is like, I was just jaw at the floor. Like, when he mastered the project, the reference tracks he was using, I was like, wait, you worked with these guys? And he's telling me stories about him and shit. Like, all my idols. Yeah. So, but yeah, his favorite one, he was like, you have to make this a poignant part of the track. Like, this has to sit somewhere like big on the record because it's a standout track. And yeah, it's called Paranoid. I wrote the first verse and hated it.
Right.
Actually hated it. Well, it was very method writing. Method writing. I was trying to say methodical.
It's very meth.
Yeah. I mean, it is a bit methy, to be honest. Like, I was off my face when I wrote it. Not on meth. But I was sort of just wigging out.
True.
And like really wigging out. And
like sleep deprived, like.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So it's like really, just like a really cool poem that I wrote about being paranoid.
Whilst you were
freaking out.
Right.
Yeah, like I was sitting next to my girlfriend in bed. She was asleep. And I'm like paranoid about all this shit. And I'm just sitting there next to her while she's sleeping. Like peaceful little angel, bro, looking adorable. And I'm just sitting there like, fuck. And then, I hated it because I was wigging. I'm like, this is shit. Fuck this shit. Came back to it like a month later. And I was like, this is fucking sick, bro. Like, you wrote this so well, but I'm not paranoid. How do I go back into this? I don't smoke weed anymore. I went and smoked like 15 cones. And just sat in the
Did you?
Yeah. And just sat there wigging the fuck out, like paranoid as shit to finish the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the beat, I want to give a shout out to Jake Jenkins. We just recorded, I think it might have been Night Owl or Root of Evil, one of those two in the studio. And Lockie was just showing me beats, but I thought he was showing me beats for me to rap over for the EP. And he played me this beat. I was like, fucking chucking in Pro Tools, let me rap over this. I've got something. And it was like what I'd written for Paranoid. Rapped that. It was banging, son. Like, it was sick. And then he's like, bro, JJ actually has a song over this. Like, this is JJ's beat that I made for him. And we hit up JJ and we're like, hey, bro, like, Hermit just laced a fucking banger on this. And JJ took it so well, man. He was just like, no, have it.
Yeah.
Like, have it.
Eats.
So, shouts to JJ for letting me have that, because that's probably like one of the bigger joints on it. Yeah. No, there's some fun shit, man. It's like a nice little journey through me.
A journey of time.
Yeah, definitely, because like that's sort of been keeping me going for the past 6 months of, hurdles that life has thrown at me over the past 6-7 months. Some my own doing, some just life happening, you know what I mean? But having this objective to like keep going because we have to finish this.
Yeah, it's giving you a purpose, eh?
100%, man. That's why I'm kind of scared for it to be done.
No, because then you find the next thing.
Yeah, like I've started working on the next project now, just writing shit down and ideas that I want to do, because I know I have to do this now. Like, this is what's going to keep me sane. But yeah, there's been a bit of fear just because it has been the thing that keeps me going for such a long time through all little dark periods, or just when you get in, everyone gets in that state also, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
It's like, this has been my thing, when people ask, oh, what have you been up to? What are you doing? I'm like, working on this.
True.
Like, it's been my baby, bro. So it's like a bit anxiety reading to put it out, but I know that I'm only going to make better stuff.
Do you think, aside from music, as like you mentioned before, like, you're very interested in these like four realms, I think you said, of hip-hop.
4 elements, yeah.
4 elements. Is there like other creative outlets that you're interested in or have tried?
Yeah, man. I think especially since we've been doing all this acting stuff with 7-3, even just our funny skits.
Bro, honestly, I've said we need to G this up.
Yeah, I want to go into that a bit more, because that was, I actually got into like a drama school when I was a kid. Yeah, I was like a little drama kid when I was like 12. Like 9 to 12, I was like doing like theatre shows and shit. My mum would like take me to this place because it was like a cheaper extracurricular activity, and I just like be in this like little school doing plays and like little acting class things, and did a couple auditions and all that sort of shit. And yeah, I was really passionate about it. And I think film, I love movies. Like I really love watching movies. They really like take me to a special place, and through really hard times in my really young life and stuff, through shit stuff at home, school, like, I never really fit in at school. I was heavily bullied and all that. Film was like my escape. Yeah. So I'd always just come up with characters in my head. I'd like write my own shitty little screenplays and all that sort of shit. So I think that's something I'd like to do outside of music, and I didn't realize how much I craved it until we started doing it, because I also just like loved making videos. Like that was when I first started making music. I was like trying to be on top of all of it. Like I did all my recording, I did all my music videos myself, all of that shit. Like that was all me. And like back when I was in my crew, Pineal Collective, back in the day, I did all the videos, all the filming. They were fucking terrible. Like one was really good, actually. I'm happy with the Mad Rub video. Good. One was really cool. I did a couple cool videos, like one solo, one for the crew and all that. But yeah, I think going into like, even if we just did like the characters that we've been running, like doing a mini series of that.
We've talked about this.
Yeah, I think that's a lane that I'd like to go in.
Bueno. So we were like, I'm just going to segment into explain this.
Go hard.
I was moving house at the start of this year. And
yeah, we both were.
We were both moving house.
Yeah.
And I got a van, so it's very fucking handy for moving.
Yeah.
So I'd like knock off work or something and go pick up Hermit. I knock off work at early hours in the morning. So I go pick up Hermit, and then we like go to mine and we'd be dust, like not much sleep. Just
we were partying pretty hard in that period as well. We were just like little heartbroken little cherubs, just like trying to fix things with dumb shit.
So we'd just be there like, and removing furniture and shit from your house is so much more enjoyable when you do it with a very good friend, because doing it by yourself sucks, like packing up a bed.
Oh, it's horrible.
But when you're like fucking around with your mate and like making jokes and this and that. So we came to the conclusion of we should start up this weird like kind of comedy skit show called Wayno Bueno.
Yeah, because it came very natural. Like we just started playing these characters in the car to pass time, like super sleep deprived, like just running off coffee, no food, and like we were like because this is when I broke my arm as well. Like,
true.
I wasn't able to work because I'd snapped my elbow in half.
Those times were wild, bro.
Yeah, so like Jesus. We were just sort of like talking shit, like, yeah, you're Wayno, I'm Wayno, and like, you know, something funny would happen in the day, and we'd be like, that's an episode, like the time I spewed at the tip. You know what I mean? Like, classic, I just started dry because I inhaled all the dust from the dump truck, and I just started spewing at the tip.
Right.
And like, you know,
was so funny.
We'd sort of like narrate as we were doing things. So I think that was a really fun thing. And I think, you know, I really love those little shorts that people do on Instagram at the moment. There's a couple people that I really like watching that do those sort of like random stories. And I'm into it. I love it. It's really funny.
Maybe we should just give it a crack, hey?
I think we should. Like
a lot of people, and if you'd asked me this before I made music, I'd be too concerned on the fact of like, oh, I don't know if someone's gonna like what they would think of me. So because that is that's you're putting yourself out there real vulnerably.
Definitely,
because it's just like some people are gonna be like, oh, this dude's, you know, this way, that way. But I think I don't care. We do it already with the brand.
That's the beauty of creativity, though. Like, you know, learning to let go of that demon that's in your head and on your back, going, what if people think I'm weird, or people judge me, or make this opinion of me? Who gives a fuck? Like, you're just being yourself, and you're creating, and you're doing something that makes you happy. And at the end of the day, we only get one experience. So you got to make the most of it. And if like people think that we're some weird rappers that have now taken a comedy skit route, who gives a fuck? We're having fun.
The other thing is, the fact is that we as individuals think that other people really give a fuck about us, but they actually don't.
No one gives a fuck what you're doing. Like, people that do are miserable.
Someone can take it in for a few seconds as they're watching you kind of go, whatever their opinion is. But after that, it is not even living in their mind. You know what I mean?
No, like they just keep scrolling, man. It's a fast-paced world. And like, even if they are, like, you're giving me a bit of your energy, which is only going to help me. I'll just be a little energy vampire and suck up all your goodness and leave you with your bad shit.
But on that note, we're going to definitely have to get...
Yeah.
We should. I think... I love watching them videos. I think they're really cool. And that's like... It's a cool creative outlet. And like... I think it's another thing that can spark our creativity and like ignite other parts of it.
Yeah.
And that's, I was going to say... Like that's like a really good element to spark that creativity. What are some of the things that you would say would spark your creativity through the album and even just... Oh, well, the EP. I keep saying album.
Oh, it's almost there, man. It's 8 tracks. One more track, we'd have to call it an album.
What you mentioned before, the urge to have a purpose, but when it comes to being creative, there's something deeper that sparks that creativity.
So, as cliche or cheesy as it may sound, I've always been very creative. Like from day dot, that's always been my thing. I was always a kid that was drawing, writing poems. As I said before, writing screenplays. You know, as I got old, like I'd write little songs as a kid with no intention of like a genre sort of thing. We'd just like make little crappy songs or whatever. And then as I got into like a teenager, just rapping really made sense to me. So that was just like, it always just came naturally sort of thing. Like I can't not create. If I go like 2 weeks without making something, I'm like, I notice it and I can't help it. Like I lie in bed trying to go to sleep and I'm freestyling myself to sleep. Or
you always do that in bed, eh? You just think of like a mad bar or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There's been studies on that as well. There's a thing with your brain that when you're going to sleep, you come up with heaps of creative shit.
Yeah.
But you know, just like I always have to create. But as far as like what would urge me would be like songs like "Do What You Don't Do." some of it would honestly be like being a spiteful cunt. If I'm honest. And like,
do you want to
try
explain that song a bit further to those that maybe haven't heard it?
So Do What You Don't Do is very much a track about me being very traditional with hip hop of how it should be presented, how it should be done. And like, you know, I have close friends that don't follow those rules and I like their music and I'm for it. Like I listen to like some of the shit I dissed, you know what I mean? Like one of my guilty pleasures when I'm sad and drunk is like putting on some Juice WRLD. You know what I mean? But I don't consider it hip hop. Like stop calling yourself a hip hop artist if you're making R&B with auto tune and you know you're fucking having one syllable rhymes that last about 2 seconds. Like it's just, I hate how hip hop is marketed now in the mainstream and how people are now really starting to follow that and not doing their homework either. Like people don't know shit about the history, which I think if you're gonna try and contribute to something and you don't know where it comes from, how the fuck can you take it any further? Like, if you don't know where it's come from, how can you lead it anywhere? You don't know its history. You've got to know the history. It's like anything, whether it's your culture, whether it's film, skate. Like, if you don't know where this shit comes from, you can't be a leader because you don't know where it's been. And yeah, that shit was just really starting to bug me. So I wrote a track about it.
And it's had quite a diverse response, eh?
Oh, it's pissed some people off. I've had some people really get upset, but
I've seen the messages, lad.
yeah. If the shoe fits, motherfucker, like honestly, I'm not apologizing. I've said that to a couple people. Like, get over yourself, man. Like, I'll still treat you with respect. I'm not gonna bully you, but like, these are my 2 cents. You can add yours. You can fucking make a track about me, how I'm a fucking spiteful cunt. Go hard. Like, I will actually respect the shit out of that. But some of the songs were just like trying to vent, you know, like I just want to be creative. So I just see where it would take me. Yeah, just everything inspires me, you know what I mean? Like I could just be walking down the street and see a scenario that intrigues my brain and be like, oh, what's a punchline I could come up with about that? Or what's a little rhyme scheme? Or something that really got me into rapping was words like really resonate with me, like sound. I really love sounds.
So the sound of a word.
Yeah, man, like just sound in general, you know what I mean? Like certain movies I like is because there's a certain sound in it, bro. Like Attack of the Clones, Star Wars, not the greatest film, but like...
What sound is in this that you like?
Bro, like when I'm going through the meteor field, like, and he like blows up the bombs and it's just like goes silent and it's like, boom, like that...
you should sample that shit.
It gets me gassed as fuck, bro. You know what I mean? So like I'd hear a word or like someone say something that rhymed and I'd be like, how can I flip that? And I wouldn't always put that in a song because I don't want to be a biter, but like always just intrigued to do things that sound nifty in my head at the time. And I might think it's terrible later, but all little bits inspire creativity, man. Like,
yeah, 100%. It does. It's really cool to get the thing that I'm starting to realize the more that I'm doing these podcasts with a lot of creative people, and as you are by my side for most of them, it was really cool to get the insight into Dunna's how he creates music, how his creativity is like really brought together, and then like I reflect that back on like how I create it completely different, how you can create it completely different.
Yeah.
So
so did you want to like more know how the songs were made, sort of thing?
Nah, not necessarily. I think just like how people take in creativity, how people
for sure.
I think just for anyone listening, it's really cool to understand that like it is your own unique thing.
Yeah, no one makes things the same, you know what I mean? Like you can chuck like 8 rappers in a room and they've all got their own process of doing it, you know what I mean? Like
even how they structure it, like even if they're all writing bars on their phone, how they structure it in their notes on their phone is all different.
Yeah, that's something we talked about the first time we ever worked on something together. When we first started hanging out, like you came over to my house.
I remember that.
We were writing that Honey Ain't Sweet joint and you were like watching how I'd structured my phones just like over my shoulder sort of thing. Like not trying to like snoop around, but just like, oh, do you like structure it like that? And I'm like, yeah, it's like how else would you do it? Even though I know other people do it differently, it's like my brain can't write in a different structure. Like it has to do that.
I think mine just does it in how it kind of feels it's right.
Yeah,
whatever way that my brain is like, I'll be able to spit that the way that it needs to be.
Yeah, but even how you like write it out, like where you put your spaces in between lines and shit. Some people write like 4 bars into like one thing with
One
no gap
sentence
between
with no
them and shit like
paragraph.
that.
See, I like paragraph them down.
Yeah, that shit stresses me out.
Yeah, it just makes it. It's how I get why I do that is I feel it helps with my scheme. It helps me get it like did it, you know what I mean? And I get it instead of all one paragraph. It's like new scheme, new line, and that's what I kind of do. And then when I'm switching it up, if I'm bringing it into like, oh, I'm going to spin this off on a new scheme, I just have that one word on that, then I spin. I don't know. It's a
No, I get your
interesting thing.
method. I just, as we were saying, like everyone has their own method of doing things, which is cool. I really like that, and I think that's been a really cool thing in the process of making this EP, working with different people outside of the EP.
And outside of, wait, what do you mean outside of the EP?
So like just making music with other people that's not on the EP, you know what I mean? Like when we did the sample night and shit like that, we were working on the EP when we did that.
Yeah, true. Fuck, that was ages ago, bro.
Yeah, like, you know.
Who was there? Me, you, Grace, Oscar?
Yep.
Lockie.
And Lockie, yeah. So like doing those nights, making music with Rue Boy, all those sorts of little things, like the track that we've got together that we wrote like after the gym one day, and we were just like gassed.
The Meant to Be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's a banger. We're releasing that, 100%.
Yeah, I know. But it's cool doing those sorts of things, and I'm sure my process is gonna change as times change. You know what I mean? Like I'm starting to make different music now. Still hip hop, but
still committing nuisance, mate.
Oh, 100%.
Why'd you pick that name, actually? Why that name?
Yeah, I know you know the answer to this, but yeah, for the viewers. We went to Melbourne, which
was this that trip?
The trip. So
trip.
I'm so grateful because I really love the name, and the name would not have happened without this trip.
See, the thing is, on that trip, I thought that you'd already come to the conclusion of the name.
No,
and you just saw that, and you were like, "Oh wow!"
No, that's how I thought of it. So when we went to Melbourne, as a little cheer up trip, we fucking went to Chinatown, and I took the boys to the joint that I like eating at there, and there's a sign just down the road from the joint, and it says "Commit No Nuisance."
We'll get the photo up.
Yeah. Put a emoji on me,
of course.
But I just snitched on myself anyway. Fucking so yeah, I did a tag next to the sign, and the boys took a photo, and everyone thought it was really funny. You know what I mean? Especially because I'm the graph head out of our crew, sort of thing. Everyone gets a little kick out of my addiction to just scribbling on walls, and the photo was great. And then the more I looked at it and I thought about the sign, I'm like, that's so funny. Like, commit no nuisance. Yeah, because it just reminds me of the Harry Potter thing with the Marauder's Mat, where it's like, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. It really reminded me of that sort of cheekiness, which the EP has a fair bit of cheek to it, like clowning about was a big staple for that. And so we picked that name, and then it wasn't until we were like almost done that we even learnt what the sign meant, which was it comes from like the 1800s in London when they were like really in recession, I think is the right word. And people didn't have piss pots, and they didn't have toilets and shit. So they were just pissing on buildings, and it means don't piss on my building.
And you found a sample from an ad, didn't you?
It's like a little short documentary thing on it. So I just typed "Commit No Nuisance" into YouTube, and that's how I learned what it meant. It's like this short little documentary of a dude walking around England talking about the signs.
Do you think that one there had been put up then?
Yeah. Well,
or has that been put
I
up
reckon
now?
it could have been there since colonizer times, like when they first started colonizing Victoria.
Possibly.
It's possible. It might just be a tribute to it, but it's the exact same as the ones.
Exact same.
Yeah, it looks the exact same.
I've never seen one like that before either.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
Watching the documentary, and like there's a little hashtag that I've been using for the EP, which is just "Commit No Nuisance," and there's heaps of people taking photos with the old signs in England and all that.
True, that is cool. I just thought of a really cool idea, but I'll tell you when we're not on record.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Remind me.
Yeah. Hold on to
No,
that thought.
I think, that's fucking, I was there that weekend.
Yeah, you were there when we found that name.
And that was the weekend we went to Revs and stuff?
Yeah, that's our weekend. So, that's why it was funny, you know what I mean? We just absolutely been the biggest pests ever. And during that period, we were being massive pests, just like painting the town red. And, you know, I was recovering a snapped elbow from painting a rooftop and falling and shit, you know what I mean? So it was just, it felt so right. And then, yeah, we did chop up that documentary for Clowning About, which was the oldest video. Like that video that we put out a week ago. That was the first video we made.
True. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought that. I wasn't there.
That's why it's
what
like,
was I doing?
The other videos, I'm like, you know, the refreshed newborn hermit where I've got like a nice fade.
Yeah, but
and
that one you're like
got colour in my face.
Bald herm.
I'm bald with like a bald patch
yeah,
here,
it's
bro.
shocking,
Like,
lad.
I look, you know, I'm looking really crummy and shit like that. Like I don't really care about how I appear.
Why was that? Why? What was going on then?
Oh, that's just how I didn't really care about my appearance. You know what I mean?
Then, I swear you somewhat.
I liked fashion, but like I wasn't really trying to impress anyone. Like I just threw on what I thought worked and that was that. But you know, since I've been like trying to figure out a bit of mental health and I've like sort of adapted the look good, feel good, you know, I care a bit more about grooming myself, like, you know, getting a haircut once a week, getting a beard, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's interesting, but yeah, I thought it would be funny once we drop the next video as well, because it's like do what you don't do. Looking all fresh, fucking got more colour in my face again and shit. Like I've got that like a little bit of olive back in my skin and shit.
So you've dropped
and then,
the one that we filmed at the pub.
Yeah.
That was...
Do what you don't do. That was so much fun.
And you've dropped...
Clowning About.
And then is there another one?
Yeah, for Hobart.
True.
This is
Has
Hobart.
Has this been filmed?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we did that like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
When?
So the last pop-up hip-hop gig, the day that me and Lockie played that set with Tommy and Damesar for Lockie's last gig.
Right.
In Hobart before he moved.
But what gig was that?
It was a pop-up hip-hop gig.
Okay.
I don't think you came.
No, I mustn't have. I could have been working potentially.
Yeah, I think you were working or you're away. Some shit like that. But yeah, we filmed it that day. Went out at like 7 in.the.morning without giving too many spoilers because we'll probably drop like within a couple days of you guys seeing it, so it's all good. I will have dropped some teasers. Yeah, me and Grace went for breakfast, met up with Lockie and Clara.
True.
And then we all walked through the Salamanca markets.
True.
And it's
I
like
remember this.
Slow-mo, a lot of the shots. So we had to wrap it double time.
Finished?
Yeah, I can show you after the podcast.
True. Word, I haven't seen it.
I'll even give you the link. You can put like a little snippet here or something if you want.
Snippets are right there. Watch that shit, man.
But yeah, we're like walking through the Salamanca markets. But because I want to do a slow-mo shot of me rapping it, walking through the market, you have to rap double time to shoot in slow-mo for it to lip sync.
True.
So
why do you want it slow-mo then? It just looked like...
Yeah, it looks cool. Like you're walking in slow-mo, everyone's moving really slowly behind you.
I'm getting it because the song's obviously not in slow-mo.
No, the song's not in slow-mo. Like the track is in time, but the video is in slow-mo, but my lips are synced. So I'm still rapping it perfectly, but in slow-mo.
And you got it?
Yeah. So I rapped it double the pace. So I'm like doing like garage.
So what BPM were you on originally?
Like 75, 80.
So you've chucked it up to then...
Like 160 or some shit. So I'm like,
this
is Hobart, keep home close to my heart. This is the home of our stars. Can't go far without a bug. Nose out, bugs draft. No barrel, rather go sober. And I'm walking through Salamanca market.
What were they thinking,
bro, heaps of people looking at me like, what the fuck? There were heaps of people that liked it though.
Saturday morning?
Saturday morning.
Yeah,
Salamanca market's on a Saturday morning. And yeah, we're like, you know, there's a really cool shot of a lady trying to get in it. Like she's just like, jumps like this in the background. Because it's in slow-mo, she's sort of like,
the whole thing's in slow-mo?
There's some normal time shots as well. Me and Lockie climbed in the Franklin Square fountain. Oh,
is that where you were unlocking on that little thingy, that photo?
Yeah. Yeah, we're on the pink Mona rocket. Yeah, we did a shot on that.
Right.
Yeah, it was that was the most fun. That was so fun because Lockie was so hungover, bro. Like his brain was not working at normal capacity. Like he was just... Lockie overtired and hungover is just like a silly little rascal committing lots of nuisance.
So many times that he has filmed clips like that, and we have definitely been the reason.
But he was like the one being filmed because I wanted Lockie in all the videos.
Yeah,
because it's our thing. I don't see this as a Hermit EP that's produced by Lockie Hamill. This is a collaborative effort. To be honest, Lockie's done more work than me. Because he engineered it too. Like he recorded it, he mixed it, produced it. Yeah. There's some really cool shit in that video because I pay tribute to like a couple things that I really like about Hobart. There was a bar about the Brisbane Hotel, so we went back inside the Brisbane Hotel.
True.
I shout out Topa and Votes, who were like big graffiti kings of Tasmania. So we like went and found a voter, one of the old voter pieces that he did back in the day. And there's like a mural done by Sire next to it now. Guess Gargoyle or Votes has passed away a few years ago.
Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a shot of one of his old pieces in
and that's
it.
That. This is coming from a dude that does not know the in-depth, ingrained Tassie history. But that's the dude that Alex Jones mentions at the start of that track.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was on BTE, like Broken Tooth Entertainment, Checkmate's label.
Fucking oath.
Yeah. So a few of Broken Tooth, the Tassie boys, I know that they've been quite influential, like Taunts, Billy Bunks, and Gargoyle. They were Tassie boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that's my favourite video. I'm keen to release that. We will do more videos to release after the release.
Yeah.
I want to go over to Melbourne to do the Root of Evil one because it's all about capitalism and money. So I think filming in Collins Street and just in the hustle bustle of Melbourne will look really cool. Maybe it's Stavros or Lockie.
Yeah, Stav.
Stav would do a really good job.
Having a collab joint with both of them would be
Yeah,
really
I think
cool.
getting Stav and Lockie on it would be sick. Just like actually drop some good money on a sick clip. But that's all like future stuff. I just want to like focus on what we've got right now because I just like making stuff. I really suck at all this marketing shit. Like I feel like I'm doing
another thing.
I feel like I'm doing a good job, but it's stressful. So like I just want to get out what
you
we've
get
got
lost
at the
in
moment.
it. I get lost in it, and like apparently, I get praised that it's like, yeah, you do it right, but it's like I don't fucking feel like I do, and like there's no like secret recipe, secret sauce. There's I feel there's many ways you can play to your advantage on the battlefield of marketing. Like you really have to understand your audience, and I think
just
with
figuring out how you want to brand yourself and being authentic with it, because like no one wants to like watch two of the same people that are like completely distant from each other. Like watching circles of people that are really good friends is cool if they've got the same energy. But like say there's this persona that's marketing their music this way and then some cunt from the other side of the country or the world is doing the same thing. It's not as interesting because you already got that, and that's what that cunt's always going to remind you of that person. Like, oh, he does this shit like such and such. It's like, be yourself. You know what I mean? So yeah, finding that stuff, but I'm getting better at it. Like, you know, I'm posting regularly on social media now. I'm like, you know, I put up some stories.
He's on.
Yeah, like just doing without feeling like I'm like hurting my mental.
I think with that sort of stuff though, and with pushing your social presence and all that shit is it just goes 0 to 100 real quick. You look at like brands, companies, individuals, artists before they got to like the blow up or the global recognition, they were just chilling doing like the shit we're doing now. You know what I mean? Like it just all happens. Like you're grinding, you're ticking away, you're really going hard, and then bang, you wake up the next day and it's just like, fuck, this whole shit's changed. Not to say that you should.
No, I don't think you should at all.
Aim for that, like because that's. I think you should.
Depends on your goal.
Yeah. Well, if your goal is to just fucking go viral, then sure,
success is subjective. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out this social media stuff to like a healthy level. You know what I mean? Where it still aligns with my values and how much I'm willing to put into it. But at the end, it's you know, I want people to hear it. I do want people to hear it. But like at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if that makes sense. Like if it doesn't blow up. Like I had some people come to me and they heard like I've played a couple people the whole record before and they're like, this is going to blow up. You're going to be like big off this. I'm like, I don't necessarily want to be. It'd be sick to live off music. Don't get me wrong, but like I don't want to blow up. And maybe part of me does. There is that little ego brain that does want that, but I don't care if I don't because I'm so happy with my life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy. Like my success is me completing this. That's my success. Like, and that was the whole thing about this, like doing something to the absolute maximum capacity I could. I've succeeded. Like I didn't think I'd ever actually put out a record and I did, but it seemed so far out of reach. And like getting DJ cuts, getting a live instrumentation and going over to Melbourne just to get it mastered and sitting in this fucking $1 million studio Like that, I've succeeded. I'm so happy. And the opportunities that I've gotten out of music already, I can die happy. You know what I mean? Like the friends that I've made, the memories I've created, the legacy that I know I will leave behind by putting on gigs for other people and so like I'm good. It only gets better from here. Whatever happens, like if 5 more people listen to my music, that's sick. Like that's so sick. Like if I don't surpass 1,000 streams, I'm fucking happy because my life is good and it's only gonna get better. That being said, cop the album.
That being said, stream the shit. Karen.
Yes. Like, don't even like fuck the streams. Buy a record.
Yeah.
Cop the physical. Even if you don't have a record player.
I wish we had it here on hand, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Wish we had it.
Yeah, it's. I hoped we would have, but you know, finance. So maybe I do want to blow up. Fucking buy my record, motherfuckers. Get me rich.
I think there's a fine with that topic. There's a fine line. We think fractionally different.
Yeah, no, we definitely
very
do.
Business minded, and like with what I'm building is like I've got my music, but then I also have 7-3 and throughout that like XYZ. You know what I mean? Like I if I was someone to ask me personally, like yes, like why I'm doing this is because one day this shit's going to feed my family and it's going to feed my family's family and so on and so forth. And not just that, but it's going to impact the scene and the community that I care so much about. So there's like, that's not just me being really kind of individualized about my project and my creativity. It's also looking at it from a wider lens and being like, this can impact a lot of different things. But
no, I get you.
I think having that that kind of simplistic mindset of, you know, I'm doing these things and as you said, I'm achieving all these goals that once upon a time were dreams.
Dude,
once upon a time, you never thought you were going to be on a record. You never thought you were going to get cuts in and all this. And then to achieve that and to acknowledge that there is where you're going to get that boost to then strive throughout.
The fact I've shaken hands, made tracks, I call close friends, people that I idolized when I was a kid, aspiring to do this, you know what I mean? Played shows with, all that, like that. It was something I really wanted to do, and like back when I was 17, starting to like figure out how to make hip hop and record it and all that, I did want to be famous and I wanted to be one of those big Donnies. But like, just the experiences, for sure, man. Like, I want to live comfortably, definitely. Like, I don't have a mindset where I'm like fuck money in the sense of like I'm happy being poor. I don't want to be fucking poor. I want to be comfortable. Like, I'm happy to live in the house I live in right now. I just like be sick not to have to work a day job or something, or turn my passions into a career, which we're starting to figure out how to do outside of releasing music, but still be using our skill set, which makes me happy, you know what I mean? But the fact I have the blessing to be able to create at free will, make music at free will, connect with music friends, play shows, put on a fucking EP launch for myself and so like that's such a blessing to have that experience, you know what I mean? So anything that happens from that just adds to my blessing, man. Like at the end of the day, I just want to know that I did my best. And if I can just create, have a nice little future with my bros and the little young Herms that may appear in the future, you know what I mean? That's
the money will, even in all aspects, from just being like creative or anything, money buys security. But what buys happiness is like actually attaining to what you value within life.
Yeah, and I think being able to turn your passions into that money, you know what I mean? Like you'll never work a day in your life if you're having fun and you're passionate about what you're doing. And I'm a firm believer in that classic saying. Like I'm a firm believer in it. If you're passionate, you're always going to have a bad day. That's inevitable. That's life. If you always have good days, your life's fucked and you're just oblivious. But, you know, I just want to turn my passions into something that I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like last week that we had, I worked every day pretty much, but I was like, and making good money. I was doing music every day. And if I can turn that into a career, I'm stoked. And that was about like doing shit for other people, like running workshops of how to rap and all that.
Throughout this EP especially, I feel if I was to look at you and your journey from what I can see, this is one of your most monumental creations musically. Yeah. What advice would you have obtained for other artists throughout this creative process of this EP?
Oh, that's a really fucking good question. Firstly, again, cliche, just don't give up. Like, doubt is really easy to get as a creative. And just follow through with your vision. Because it might not be exactly how you envisioned it, but you're going to learn something from it. And just keep creating. And then, like, you will eventually figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it. And fuck, man, I was putting out music for so long until I figured out. Some people learn quicker than others. I'm a slow learner, turns out. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, I still did an all right job, I think. And, yeah, I think just if you've got a vision, just do it. Like, honestly, just do it. Like, and give it your all. Not because it's going to get you big, not because it's going to get you rich. Just, like, because you care about it. Find how you want to present your shit. And just, even if it's crazy, do it. If your dream is to put out a cassette tape, do it. Like, put out a cassette, you know what I mean? Like, half the things that we've done with this seemed impossible for when we started. Like, and like financially impossible, really far reaching the idea of just doing it. But we did it. And like, I just put in all, like, work towards your dream. Like, you know, you might be working a really fucking shit job. Like I am. I work a fucking terrible job. We're not going to say where. No, because I just don't want that. But I
just don't want that.
But I'm like, you know, I work a fucking job that makes me miserable. But like, this is a philosophy that I adapted from Kiz, is those shit hours are buying you your freedom to do what you want to do. Like, when I do a fucking 9-10 hour day of just being absolutely miserable and stressed, yeah, I'm working towards getting a different career, but those hours that I just put in just bought me like studio time. And all right, the next month I'm going to do overtime. I'm going to pick up all the extra shifts I can. Now I can like get my shit properly mastered, or I can put out the record. I can do the merch. Like, just do it. Like, nothing's impossible. Like, we have everything way more accessible than it ever has been.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, man, doing a record like on wax seemed like one of the reasons it seemed so impossible was like, who the fuck do you have, like, whose dick do you have to suck to get a record? You know what I mean? Like, surely you got to be signed or some shit to do that. But I literally sent an email. They just found the pressing plant, sent them an email, got a quote, sent them the music, paid a deposit. It's now on the way.
Spenny though, for anyone watching. Shit ain't cheap
to
press
but
that
just
thing.
do it, man. Like, even if it takes you a year to save up, would you rather have known that you gave it your all, or like release something and then go like, fuck, I could have done that if it just took a bit more time? Because that's what I learned between my transition of like Hermit to Hermit Kovacic. That's the biggest lesson, was like, every release was, I could have done that better. And this one, I know that I'm more talented now, and I'm going to be able to make a better project next time after Commit No Nuisance. But there's not anything else I could have done for Commit No Nuisance. I gave it my absolute all. You know, I re-recorded certain verses 3 times. I fixed certain sentences because an annotation didn't sound right. We went back and chucked on those sax riffs. We chucked on the scratches. Yeah, I could have got Lockie to master it, but he was like, yo, Joe will do a better job. It's worth it. I'm going to fucking do that.
That's that self-investment is what
exactly,
you're talking about.
100%. And like, I just don't want to be left going, I could have done better. And I know I couldn't have done better for this project. I can do better now, but I don't look at this project and go, there's not one part of me that goes, fuck, you slacked there.
Yeah.
Fuck no, I didn't. I gave it my all. That's what everyone should do. Just give it your all if you care about it. Because I don't want to be 60 either and be like, fuck, I wish I could have done this fucking record. Wonder what my life could have been like. I will now know.
Give it your all.
Yeah, and my life not change at all. Like, we might just fucking get drunk next week. And the record's out and then it's done. That's it. but I know what could have happened.
Yeah, and the fact that you've got a record out there, that's
yeah, man. Like that's gonna be a family heirloom, motherfucker.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
we're gonna have like 6 generations of rappers from here on, bro. I'm just gonna
Oh, the Kovacics, mate.
Kovacic MCs.
Kovacics. That's a bloody Kovacic. I'm half tipsy. I've had too many beers. But to end it, 3 beers, mate, in an hour. It's your aura. You just make me want to drink piss even though I'm sick. But
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
It's a compliment. Not many people make me want to drink. So, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, we'll
Don't
just
know.
leave it.
Look, we'll take it. What's next? What message do you want to leave it on, brother?
So Commit No Nuisance, August 2nd. It's going to be available online, streaming services, vinyl. You can hit the Big Cartel or Bandcamp for the physical copies that you can buy digital off Bandcamp as well if you want to like own it and not just stream it. We got the launch the next day, August 3rd, with a bunch of deadly artists. You know, I got all my friends on, which was the most important part. And we got Dispraise, Ruboy, Lockie Hamill, Kiers, DJ Then Some's playing with me. Dames is going to be doing all the support acts on the 1s and 2s. Then we got a sick drum and bass after party. And stay tuned, man. Like, this isn't going to be the roundup for the year. Like, there's going to be more music. I've got some really cool collabs coming already that I'm working on. So just stay tuned. Anyone that's clicked on this because they do like what I do, thanks. If you don't know who I am, check it out. And massive shout out to Kiz. Shout out to all the crew. I don't want to do the whole list because it's a lot of fucking people, but you know.
No, you're doing it now, Jake.
Shouts to my grandma, shouts to my friends, shouts to my mum and my beautiful sisters. Commit No Nuisance, bitch.
Out in, I don't know when we're dropping this, out in a few days. Isn't
yeah, but from this point, 9.
All right, word, brother. Word. Cheers for coming on. Good yarns.
Good yarns.
Yeah, that's that. That was episode 5.
5. You just dropped episode 4, you drunk asshole.
5. I need to knock off and ilche, but cheers for listening. That was Hermit Kovacic. Thank you very much.
Peace.